today, I'm more like to focus on all this Chinese lunar calendar and different name, different month and the year, and all the name of the lunar representative, like for all the animal. So in Chinese, we have many different way of name something or name to make it look very from aesthetic or from a very antique Chinese way. For example, different season like spring, summer, or autumn, we have sometimes we're using the flower to represent the season. For example, plum, normally we're using to represent winter. Okay, 荷花 lotus represent summer, and autumn, they 菊花我成日都唔記得英 chrysanthemum for fall or autumn, and spring they normally using orchid 春蘭蘭花. Okay, so that's why sometimes when we want to write something in an article, in a poetry, they're using this kind of flower or some other way of name is spring. We need to know the history. We need to know some background information. So the same thing today. For example, if we are going to write a piece of artwork, a Chinese calligraphy or poetry in pair, to give it to a relative, to a friend, to someone that we respect and as a present, we need to write, like I mentioned last time, we need to write down, first of all, the timing. When are we going to, when we finish or did the artwork, where the location or what city that we are doing it, okay, and month. So these are three things that we need to know. And after that, if we give it to someone as a present, we need to have the recipient's name. Or either you can name his name directly because we are all at the same age, or we give it to someone as our master or our parent or someone that higher level like your boss, then you have to put some kind of a different how can I say, different call that you call either your father or your parent, you put something on it to show that you respect, or to someone that younger than you, or like your brother or your friend's wife, and you have a different kind of way of calling. So those are the things that I'm going to slowly explain to you and let you to know, so to understand in the future what kind of name or call is more appropriate, is more polite. And after that, then we need to know the year, the lunar year of the year. For example, this year is the lunar year of pig. And what is the name that call the pig? In Chinese, we have a way of calculate the 12 animals. One cycle normally ended with 64 years. That we call one big cycle. And how this going to count? For example, we have, I have to use the Chinese name but not the English because I don't know how. Oh yes, I can do that. I use a different way of explaining it. In Chinese lunar year, just let you know that how we have the lunar year system run. We're not counting only the sun like the Western. We have the sun and the moon. So when the sun and the moon, they circle the earth one cycle, and the moon circle the earth one cycle, they are two different timing, take longer and shorter. So that's why we have to put on the sky and the earth, and two different systems put together to create the how we count and how we sum up with 64 years in one cycle. That's why in Chinese we're always able to just and to calculate the middle of the month, the 15th of each month. The moon is always full moon. That's why we have some month we have 28 days, 29 days, 30 days, 31 days. Those are the Western one. But in Chinese, we have that, but we adjust that to always the 15th of the day of the month. You will see a full moon. But in the Western calendar, you will not able to see it. Like January 15 and February 15, you will not see the moon, full moon. But Chinese able to do that. That's the two system run, the sun and the moon. Okay. So first of all, the system is using the sky. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, remember, this is individual unit. It's not just a number. And down here, we have the mice, okay, the ox, the tiger, the rabbit. I have to do this, then you will see how it's going to end up, okay? I have to matching with the number 1. Dragon, snake, horse, sheep, okay, monkey, rooster. Now, you have to go back again, 1, and then 2. Dog, pig, and then 3, 4, 5, 6. Because the pig is, or after the pig end, you go back to the mice. And then you have the ox. And then you have the tiger. Okay? And the rabbit. One, they come to the end by the 10, then you continue the 12 animal, and then the cycle. Once the number 1 have been matched with each animal and come to the end, exactly 64 years. 64一個週年, okay? So that's how they calculate. And then because all this animal is live on ground, on earth, so we call Earth, I just create the name. It might not be right in English, but I haven't studied in English, so the term Earth, just say Earth count. And the 1, 2, 3 is called the sky. And also the sky in Chinese we call positive. And the earth we present negative. It's very scientific. We have electric, we have positive and negative. If they're not matching, they crush. Magnetic, the same thing. You have the positive side and the negative side. If you have negative to negative, they always bounce back. That's why the Chinese, they're always talking about positive and negative. Even the feng shui, they're also talking positive and negative. And that's why in a lot of books, when you're reading the feng shui or whatever, you always see these two words. Yin, yang. This one is negative. This one is positive. Hey, 龙哥，你来，坐。Okay. So that's how we call. So that's why you need to know all this name. So now, for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for the Thiên Con means the sky. They have 10. So in Chinese, what do they using that to represent the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And I'm going to write it down on the board for you. I need to give you a bit more detail on this. 今天我讲的都是那个天干跟地支，给他们了解一下。然后写对联的时候，怎么样用那个年日。Okay. 1 in Chinese is Ga, 2, and which is I already give to everyone. Now I encourage, like rules or someone don't speak English, Chinese, need to learn all this, how to pronounce it in Chinese. Because when we're talking about calligraphy, that will help you a lot. If you're using 1, 2, 3, it's very hard to understand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I will later on. I will put the spelling, the pronunciation in, translate it to English for Bruce to understand, to help you how to pronounce it. Okay, and then you have the animal, the 12 animal. This is mouse, the mice, the ox, the rabbit, snake, the horse, the monkey, the rooster, the dog, and the pig. Okay? So once we know all this, and then we will know how to put all the, and for the mice, they have a different name called, they don't call the mice the ox. Just like 1, 2, 3, they don't call 1, 2, 3, but they call 甲乙丙丁. The same thing in here. The mouse, they call 子丑寅. I'm going to put here. Mao means the rabbit, the dragon, the snake, the horse, the sheep, the monkey, the rooster, the dog, and the pig. Now remember, when the beginning, I talking about one matching with the mice, then you have one mice. In Chinese we call 甲子. Normally, in general speaking, we have to start from one point until the end and then come to the cycle. So at the beginning, they always 甲子mean one mouse. And the second year, 乙丑 mean 2 ox. First mice, second ox, third tiger. When they come to the end, you only can match with the chicken. Then the dog will go to 1. So that it's not ended yet until they have 64 years all around. Then you will begin again. 1 mice, 2 ox. You got that, Bruce? Okay. So therefore, in Chinese, we don't write down 2019, 2020. We will say, for example, this year is the pig. I will not know how many 100,000 years, how many times after the pig, but I know this year is 幾害, the pig. And I will, later on, I will explain this one. What is this about? 1, 2, 3. The 1, 2, 3, the sky, the 天干, meaning they're using the 5 positive and negative, like fire, wood, water, metal, wind, all that, to match together. And that's why you will know odd number in Chinese is positive, even number is negative. Okay, so that's how they match. So now, since we already know this year is the year of pig, right, Bruce? I pick on you because I want you to understand easy. For us, we already have some idea. Now, the next year after the pig end, the next year, what will be the animal first? Can you tell me? We have 12 animals. We start with the mice. Mice, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig is N. And then when we're gonna go back to the number 1, right? Now we have number 6 with the pig. So after number 6 will be 7. And then the pig is already and the 12th animal. Then you go back to what?
The
Mice.
mice.
So next year is the year of mice. And matching with number 7. You got that? So after the ox, the mice, the next year will be, the year after will be ox. And then the 8 with ox. Am I confused you or you okay?
That's okay.
Okay? So that's you remember when I write the character, the ask for you, I write down the year of pig. So this is the year of pig this year. So next year, when people asking you, what animal next year, then you already know it's a mice. But they matching with 7. I try to make it simple. We're gonna stop here, okay? And then later on, I will explain to you about the 10 sky and what they represent. Because they represent the 5 different energy that happen on the earth. And then these 5 energy, they always link together and create a positive, a cycle will never end. The energy, because when you have, for example, water, good for wood. So when wood have water, wood will grow. However, the fire, the flame, will kill the wood. If you put the wood into the flame, it will burn. So we always have something against each other, but always have something that help each other to grow. For example, after you burn the wood will sit down to the earth. And what it will become, it will, in the future, they will create the treasure like gold or metal. Right? So that's why it always happens that way. But also fire flame will burn the metal, the gold, and the gold will become liquid. Liquid also called water. You see, the Chinese calendar, they're using that kind of cycle to let you know if something matching something, it will help you grow. Or something that against each other, they're going to destroy the other. So those are the 5 elements on earth that will make the whole universe have a cycle. Or you do it wrong way, then you will destroy each other. So that's why we say man is positive, woman is negative. Positive and negative together, they will produce children. It's a cycle. But if positive with positive, you will never have children. Or negative with negative, female and female. So that's why how the Chinese theory that all linked together, either with the lunar year, with the medication theory, with the nature on earth, it always happens like that way. Okay? So I'm gonna stop here and I will go because if I need to give you all the information, it will be very complicated. It's not good for you to confuse you, okay? So let me round up a little bit. I'm talking about spring, summer, fall, and spring. We're using different flowers to represent each season. Spring, we have orchid. In summertime, we have lotus. Wintertime, we have chrysanthemum.
No, fall.
Fall,
Chrysanthemum.
chrysanthemum. And wintertime, we have plum. Why? Because you see, plum always can survive and grow and blooming in wintertime, no matter how cold the weather is. The flower is still red and pink, very nice, right? And lotus, and also blooming and nice, go with the breeze and you can smell all good. And then springtime, of course, orchid. So that's why we all have orchid show or whatever normally in the springtime. But after summertime, it's not very good for orchid. And then also orchid or lotus or plum, they have a different meaning also behind to represent someone's have a very high character. We're going to talk about that. Okay, so now I'm talking about this. Then I'm talking about the city for Toronto. In Chinese, we have different name, our Toronto city. We can call City of Toronto or just Toronto City. That in English, but in Chinese, we have a little bit different. Because we short form. 阿黃生啊，你可唔可以推個音量收細啲啊，黃生？唔該。You see, we short form, we will say Toronto City. In Chinese mean 多城, Sometimes we using, like I said, we using the flower, the plant to represent the season. And in Toronto, what do we have the most? We have maple tree. So we will call Maple City. That's how we're using it, we create it. But you have maple leaf, a team, but we have Maple City because Toronto full of maple. In winter time, we go to see maple, some fall. So that's how it goes. Okay, so those are the names. So when you want to give someone your work to your friend, you want them to keep it as a for memorize, to keep it for good. So you have to have some kind of way of write down to give it to someone or give it to your teacher. You want him to say, hey, I give it to you, but you're very humble asking your teacher or someone older than you to. I also ask for a favor. If I have did something wrong, tell me. I would like to learn. It's a humble way. Because in Chinese, we always say we should be humble. We are not going to go out and show off like this way. It's not a nice way. So a lot of people, they have well education, they're very humble, very low profile. They don't go out and try, like a salesperson to promote themselves. So very humble. And then when you want to give someone to as a gift, you always say, I sincerely or I very respectfully yours, I give this to you. So you have to have something like that to make the person who receives the recipient feel good and you respect them. That's how all this paper I want to explain. We know that we have, each year we have 12 months. Okay, the Chinese spring, summer, autumn, and winter, they are followed like this way. January, February, March, which is springtime. And then of course April, May, June is the summertime. And then July, autumn, August, September is fall. And October, November, December is winter. Now in here, we have each quarter have different season, weather. Now in Chinese, each month we break it down to 2 different types of we call 季节, so 季节. I don't know how to say that in English, but I try to explain the system work. Because each month they have 4 weeks, we break down 2 weeks to have a different type of the climate symptom or symbol for us to know. So that's why we break it down into 24 instead of only 12. We have 12 months, but we have 24 kind of weather description. For example, this month, right now, still within the first 2 weeks of November. And then we call Li Dong, mean the spring is in. We're in October, November. October, normally you won't have the spring really, the winter time is very cold yet, but already the weather get cold. You, in the second, the third and the fourth week of October, you already start sometime, you will see some frost, flake. Just like this year, we have snow coming early. Actually, that is matching the Chinese way of talking about the season. Okay, and then in November, the first 2 weeks November, they say, oh, the frost, the snowflake is already happening. And the second week of November, the third and the fourth, now they say that the winter is really here. So December and end until the end of December, those are the very deep winter time. So they have all different kind of description of the weather, how it's changing from weather. And in Chinese medication, we're also using that to telling people what you should eat during winter time, what you should not eat during winter time. But summertime, what you should eat or not to eat, because summertime is so hot. You should eat something that cool down your system. You don't eat a lot of spicy food or greasy, you're not good. But winter time, they recommend you to eat something a bit more spicy, give you more calories. So that's what all the Chinese, they have this kind of thing. And then in each month, they represent a season. So the first month of spring is January. Second month of spring is February, right? The third month of spring is March. So in Chinese, we don't call the first month of spring, we call Meng, Mengzi de Meng, mean first month. The same thing, the first month of summer, the first month of fall, and then what is the second month? June. The same thing. We don't call the second month, but we have a name for it. And that also, sometimes in a family, they're using to name, if they have only 3 children, or 3 boys and 3 girls, then we'll say, hey, the first big brother, they put the last name, and then the middle name, and then the first name. Chinese, the last name is on the first name, okay? So that's how sometimes you will say, oh, you are the second brother, second son of the house. Or in the old days, someone, they have many wives. Maybe the big brother, the eldest brother at home, they have 2 wives. Or people want to know, hey, what's his husband's position on the family? They're also sometimes using this to represent the level or what your position. That's why it also comes. And then the third month of the season, white. Okay, but the individual word by itself, they have so many meaning. And also this word itself, also called season, but also all the third in here. So therefore, when you write down the month, if you write down Meng, Chun, there's a spring. So people already know that's the first month of spring.